What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome to the Tuffy Talk live show once again, y'all. Every Monday night, 8 p.m. It's a pleasure. Already got a ton of comments rolling in here, y'all, and that's awesome to see. I appreciate see a lot of the regulars here, but if you're new to us, thank you so much for being here. Really do appreciate y'all. And then once again, for 2 weeks in a row, y'all, we're a little bit spoiled. We got the whole crew here today. Got all five of the Tuffy Talk gang here together once again, y'all. So make sure, again, we really want to get to as many questions and thoughts as you all have here today. So make sure, if you haven't already, send us your thoughts, send us your questions in the chat, or at least just say, hey, would love to know who's here with us. And also, too, make sure, y'all, if you wouldn't mind doing us a big favor, spread the word about this show. Again, we really want as much of Wolfpack Nation here with us as we can. As again, we're just 5 NC State fans talking all things NC State, and we'll love more of you here with us. But with that, we'll get right to it here. So jump on some of the comments here already. Wolfpack Crazy saying, go Pack. What's going on, Tim? Nick saying, good evening, Wolfpack Nation. Hope everybody's doing well. Same to you, Nick. Michelle, one of our regulars, good evening, Michelle. Yeah, Jonathan Jones giving the pack. Let's go. Absolutely. So ready to get to it here today, y'all. So with that being said, I guess we'll kind of get into a little bit of an icebreaker here because I wanted to get everybody's thoughts here. And let us know in the comments too, because this is a topic that's come up a couple of times recently, and something that I know me, Greg, and Macon have firsthand recent experience with, and I'm sure Ken's and Michael do too. But there was a tweet that got put out, I think it was yesterday, about what is the most overrated entrance in college football. Maybe it was, I'm trying to find it right now, but I'm telling you, like, there's been a lot of talk recently about the Clemson entrance, and to me, it just seems clear as day. Like, there's a lot of lists that have Clemson's entrance as like top 3 in the whole country, and I'm sitting here to tell you, I've been to Clemson a couple of different times, especially now the balloons are gone. Like, I honestly, like, because again, Greg, Bacon, and I went to the game in person last year, and honestly, I would say that the Clemson chant to me was cooler than even the entrance itself. Like, after, like, at the end of the fight song, even after they came out on the hill, like, hearing and seeing the entire stadium doing the Clemson chant together, that was really, really cool. But like, to me, the run down the hill is like, like, you know, especially once they lost the balloons, which I understand why they got rid of the balloons, because missile, you know, pressures and things like that. And thank you, Michael, for your input. But
look, I'll be honest, I've ran down a hill before.
Yeah.
Right.
We
all have.
Yeah.
So I actually find sledding down a hill much more enjoyable than running down it. So.
Right.
Yeah,
true.
I would agree.
Maybe if they like pencil roll down it, maybe that might be exciting.
It's not even just the running down the hill. It's the entire, like, 10 minutes it takes them to get to the top of the hill, where you're watching the freaking bus ride from their locker room to the top of the hill, and they're all just sitting there. And it's like, okay, like, this was boring about 20 seconds ago. What's the point of this? So
that's a good point. That's a good point.
So here's my thought.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is this working right here?
Yeah, you're good, buddy.
All right, cool. So, was it saying that Clemson's was number 1 in the ACC, or what was it saying? Was it a big game boomer,
by the way?
No, it wasn't big.
No, it was just a question. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
like,
what college has the most, like, overrated, like, entrance or.
If it's overrated, then I would.
What's the most
overrated? Oh,
that's what's the most overrated tradition in college football? Was the question.
Just tradition, period.
Tradition.
Oh,
so
not
where
even
did
entrance.
it rank Clemson? If your point is Clemson, where did it rank?
Tradition.
So where did it rank Clemson's thing?
Well, it did. It just left an open question saying, but there have been many lists that over the offseason that have talked about Clemson's entrance being one.
So I didn't have any comment about Clemson. You just were like, I hate Clemson.
there were a lot of Clemson comments. Virginia Tech, which I don't think that's overrated.
No, that's a lie.
I
overrated?
think
No,
is amazing.
no.
I'll
tell you what. I'll tell you another thing I don't think is overrated either. I think Florida State's is pretty cool. Like with the
Osceola,
horse, throw the spear into the middle.
Chief Osceola.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say
anybody know the horse's name?
Renegade.
Horse,
Renegade.
pony,
Yeah.
horse.
Osceola
So
Renegade.
Auburn, the
Trivia.
eagle flying, that's pretty cool.
Do they still do that? I
think
heard they retired the eagle though. Do they still do it?
Well, even then, that was really cool. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I
think
agree.
The buffalo for Colorado, they're running the buffalo out. That's really awesome.
I like the Sooner when they bring out the chuck wagon.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that's pretty
awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like Play Like a Champion. I like that. I don't know. I wouldn't consider that overrated. Some people might consider that overrated. I think I like that one.
But again, I think
Auburn brings out a live tiger and it eats a student every single game.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's crazy.
Great
So-
tradition.
Crazy.
But
Yeah, that goes to the lowest GPA I heard.
Yeah.
I would have been
It brings the students get to class, and that's
Bringing-
cool. Cannot
There you go.
so that Florida AMU, they feed them to a den of vipers. They can't do it.
There you go.
but Michael, give us your thoughts. I haven't heard your thoughts on it yet.
Well, that's the first time. I mean, I think I saw the tweet, but I didn't really think about it. I mean, I agree that Clemson is probably up there. I mean, like
Have
they
you been
make a
there in
big deal
person?
out of. No, I haven't been.
Okay.
I haven't been in person, but
Okay.
yeah, they make a big deal out of them having to ride a bus because they designed the stadium poorly, where the field house is on
Right,
the opposite side of
right.
where they even entered the stadium. But so it's like they turned a bus ride into a tradition, which I guess, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
to me, it's like okay, like you're you're in engineering school and you built a locker room on the wrong side of the
Right.
hill.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like so
I-
what?
Yeah.
And you're
I don't-
advertising that on the big screen every game. Like,
Yeah.
my,
I don't-
like, why are you making people watch that?
I don't hate running down the hill. I think that is a
No.
little unique. I think
Yeah.
the bus ride part I think is dumb.
So but hold on. Are we talking? We're talking entrances right now.
No, that's
Just
not. That's what I
tradition,
asked.
That's just,
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but we are talking about like that's
Yeah.
what we're saying. Like we're saying, but the tweet's just
Sure.
saying because I'm looking up
Any
like I'm just
tradition.
googling like I'm googling like
tradition.
most
Well, like-
overrated traditions in college football.
well, like
I did the
Michelle-
same thing.
Michelle asked a question here. What are your thoughts on
Yeah,
Ohio
dotting
State
the
dotting
I.
the
I was
I?
literally just gonna say that.
I mean,
I don't know. It's kind of cool for one because it's a different person every time that usually has some significance. So it's like kind of honorary.
Yeah.
but again, I mean, to me, honestly, with Ohio State, I love the tradition of the drum major more honestly than I really even do dotting the I. Like to me, the drum major Ohio State.
I didn't even know what the dotting the I thing was. To be honest with you.
Oh,
But-
yeah. It's, so well, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to me,
Um,
Infinite Hates,
I
to
gotta
me, it's
disagree
Virginia
with
Tech
that.
that's most overrated. Any school can play a rock song. It's not original. It's nothing.
But
to do
not
with the school
everybody's
itself.
gonna sing it. That's
Yeah.
I will tell you the concept of I don't know how much overrated it is, but I think it's kind of getting there. The concept of UNC doing jump around and it's not a real
not
jump
even theirs.
around.
Yeah.
Wisconsin-
Right,
Like
it's not even theirs.
Yeah,
Wisconsin's
that's the Wisconsin.
Wisconsin
thing, yeah.
embraces it, right?
Yeah.
So
Is it just
Yeah.
football?
Yeah. No, they did it
No,
in
basketball
basketball. They
does it
did it
too.
in women's
No,
basketball.
I mean like, does the tweet say just football?
Oh.
No, yeah, college in college football.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep, in college football.
I
So-
just read one. The Mississippi State Cowbells.
Oh my god, they
Yes.
get on my nerves. I hate them.
To me, that's cheating.
I
That
hate
always
them
would piss
so
me off. That
much.
pissed me off at the bowl
Mhm.
game back in 2000.
Yeah.
Right? And there was only like
13.
20% of them.
Like,
And I'm
that's
like, I
cheating.
could not do this.
Yeah, it was so when we played them, I think it was in 92, 93 in the Peach Bowl before the Peach Bowl was really cool. It was in the old dome. Can you imagine like
Oh, man,
25,
yeah.
30,000 cowbells in a dome? Yeah, way worse.
I'm good. But yeah, and then obviously Wolfpack Razor brings up South Carolina Sandstorm. I mean, been there a
Yes.
couple times. It's unbelievable to say the least. So,
So-
my wife always says we have the greatest entrance in college football with
Virginia Tech.
It's pretty cool. I think 2001. The song 2001. That's pretty cool. But I'm like,
Mhm.
no, you have the best pre-kickoff entrance in college football. Virginia Tech,
Yeah.
in my opinion, has the best entrance in college
Yeah.
football. It's so intimidating. It's so cool. It's unreal.
So if we're going to talk about college football, ACC, who's like your top 5 entrants or whatever, like top 3 or 5? I mean, I think Virginia Tech and Florida State. Who's got better entrances? I mean, like
I mean, with our red
NC
lights and
State
fireworks,
somewhere like
we're tied
upper
for
third,
second.
but like
With the
the
red
lights,
light?
it's a different ball game, right? The
So,
lights are a
so
ball game.
honestly, I think what's underrated in the ACC is the Rambling Wreck at Georgia Tech with the old Studebaker type car.
You see,
coming-
that's underrated.
No, right. It doesn't get enough love in the ACC. What I'm saying, like it doesn't get talked about enough. For
I think
ACC
it's
entrances.
overrated.
You
I
think
don't
it's
know, man.
overrated?
I don't like
a
it. It's
car.
like, okay, congratulations, you drove Wake Forest.
The
Riding
motorcycle.
a motorcycle.
Motorcycle.
Congratulations, you drove a motorcycle on the field. Like, Georgia Tech,
Okay.
congratulations.
Wow.
you
Because
drove
Oregon
us.
does it too.
I mean, it's a
Oregon
cool
does it.
car,
Oregon,
but it's
yeah.
like, so what? I mean, that's my thought. Let's
We have
fight
a
about it,
helmet
Greg.
car.
No,
you can't get those anywhere.
look, it's your
Greg's like,
opinion.
wow, I thought better of you making.
It's your opinion. You're wrong, but that's all right.
Yeah, I know.
no.
Okay to be wrong, Greg.
What? No.
My
So,
big
okay.
character.
So okay. Okay. All right. I'll play devil's advocate. Who are you putting? Like Syracuse's was weak sauce.
What
I don't
entrance
know
do
the
they
entrance.
have?
Like, I don't
Pitt-
even know.
Pitt, that's my point.
Oh,
You can't even
Yeah.
talk about it. So
Yeah.
Pitt, what are you talking about there?
Ours has to be.
I have no idea. what
Miami,
entrance
just
is.
because
Tied
no
for
one
third.
goes to their games.
Well, Miami, they remember they were the ones that first did the smoke screen.
The smoke.
They were the first ones to do it.
Yeah.
Fill a
So-
stadium first, and then we'll talk about your
That's what I was
entrance.
Yeah,
going to
that's
say.
Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But so other ACC schools, who are we missing? Virginia,
Boston College. Boston
College. They just run
I
out of the
mean,
side. That was pretty weak.
Yeah.
Right. Louisville. Louisville, they have an entrance.
I don't know.
It wasn't too bad. I would put it middle of the pack.
What is it? I don't know what it is.
There's nothing unique about it.
Yeah,
I
there's nothing
think.
unique,
Just running.
but it's
Running.
more than like Boston College running out of the side of the like student section. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
anything to get hyped about.
UNC
Syracuse
with
wasn't-
the Hells with
Duke doesn't do anything.
no,
So, I hate to
they've
say
been
it,
on
Virginia.
track.
Virginia.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like again, I hate to say it, Carolina did kind of steal it with Metallica, For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Yeah.
It's a great song, and it kind of matches their style.
Or-
Back to
Of-
Leighton's
of-
comment. Fill a
of
stadium
steel.
before we rate them.
No,
Is it Hell's? Wait, isn't it Hell's Bells? Not.
is it Hell's
For Whom
Bells
the
or
Bell-
For Whom the
I
Bell
think it's
Tolls?
Hell's
Yeah, no,
Bells.
it's Hell's
Yeah.
Bells
Hell's
because they do the
Bells?
fourth quarter
Yeah.
thing like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well then they should go to Metallica, For Whom the Bell Tolls. That's a better song. But
That's true.
I think that's it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I would say there's only really
Notre
a
Dame?
handful of
No, I'm
schools
kidding.
I would.
Notre Dame.
Dude.
Pretty cool.
their entrance
No-
is good, but they only play a partial schedule, so we're not counting them.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
joking.
for sure.
I'm
So,
joking.
I would
I know
really
you
only
are.
say that from a bias perspective, State, UNC, Florida State, Clemson, and AC really qualify. Virginia Tech really.
I mean, I would
qualify.
probably put State about 4th or 5th, maybe 6th, somewhere in the middle.
I
of
would
the
say
pack.
give us the new sound system, give us a new video board, and
Yeah.
then we'll talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's
Because
that's
I would
fair.
say,
Make sure
if,
State plays a night game at every game, and then we'll talk.
well, because
Right,
I
'cause you
would
got
say
the red
one thing
lights
that's very
now.
unique about State
Mhm.
is the flyovers. Not a lot of schools have
yeah.
a dedication to flyovers.
we are the
like
only
we do.
one. We're the only
Yeah.
one.
So I think that adds a really cool factor to it.
Yeah,
just saying.
that you know what
Sure.
that counts.
And
Yeah.
I would say that
I do like.
I know-
I do like how they come out and they sway. I do like that, and they take the field. Like that's
it's very
a
unique. It's unique.
tradition thing. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
And don't worry, Tim Wolfpack Crazy. We'll talk about women's basketball. Don't you worry, Lizzie Williamson. That's on the list. Don't worry.
Jonathan
anyway,
John's right there.
Yes. So anyway, y'all. But again,
Definitely agree with that.
fun little side conversation here, y'all. But we definitely need to talk about
Yeah.
some other things here, man. But yeah. Anyway, so
Into the
so-
summertime.
yeah. So let's go ahead and get the what the heck out of the way, and that has to start with NC State baseball here. And I really wanted to talk about this because I know to start off, getting a series win at Notre Dame is, I wouldn't say big. I would say
Progress.
it's a season saver. It's a season saver. It's progress. I mean, so let's talk about it here. So State lost the first game, 9-7. Won the second game 5-1, won third game 6-1. But the biggest thing though, which I would talk about too, is the North Carolina A&T win 6-5. So really I take this whole 7-day stretch and I say we did just enough to save our season. But we're still sitting, we were one performance away from our season.
You froze.
Oh, my fault. Well, don't laugh at that.
We don't know what you
Anyway.
said. We don't. You were
It
like,
was like a
Oh,
cliffhanger. It was like, it's a
Oh.
what?
We were all waiting for it.
Oh, no. We were one dominant Dominic Fritton performance away from our season pretty much being wrapped up. Let's call it a day. And so, to me, I'm sitting here saying now this UNC series, this Pitt series, is huge. I mean, it's must win. You have to win both those series, no question about it. So, Greg, just starting, to my right here. Greg, thoughts? Go for it.
where do you want to start at? The Notre Dame stuff or moving into the future?
Let's start at the Notre Dame, North Carolina A&T this past 7 days first, and let us know in the comments too. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are currently about where we stand in state baseball.
So first question, let's go there. Team MVP, who would you go with?
Dominic Fritton, in my opinion.
I
would say that ninth inning saved it, man.
For the week. I mean, like for the season, for the week, I go.
I go
Gino Groover.
I go Gino, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm sitting here saying he went in with what? 1 out, no outs, bases loaded.
He struck out the side.
Yeah. Bases loaded, no outs.
Yeah.
Bo.
But you could argue too that he gave up the 2-run home run in the first game.
True.
But no doubt, I mean, it's always a team effort. You win as a team, you lose as a team.
100%.
But yeah, that was Gino hits the 2-run shot against A&T. That was a weird game. It started off weird with the guy getting basically knocked out, and then something to be said is Baker Nelson has been throwing really well over the last week, both at the A&T game and in the Notre Dame games. Peyton Green's back.
Yeah, but just gotta stay back. But
Right.
yeah.
Stay there.
Yeah. I guess my one word for this team is consistency. It's still a weird thing. Sam's been back in a starting lineup or starting rotation. He's been dominant in his starts. By the way, congratulations to him and all of the seniors that graduated this past weekend. He got a win on his graduation day. That's pretty cool. Didn't get to walk, so that's kind of a weird thing. But
yeah.
Wait, they played and they didn't get to. That's interesting.
Yeah. They played at Notre Dame on Saturday and they walked.
On Saturday. Yep.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I was wondering what kind of. I'm sure they have some kind of private ceremony for those guys and girls.
Yeah.
But getting to this next, was it 7-8 games now we got left? There's no midweek next week, right? It's just Pitt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 7 left.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you got to win the non-conference because that'll hurt your RPI, and you got to win at least 4 out of the 6. 5 and 6 would be gravy because we are still battling for a spot in the ACC tournament.
Oh, no, we're literally borderline 12th right now. Yep. So, and
I don't know all the tiebreakers. I mean, I'd have to do a lot of math to figure it out, but it's pretty close.
Yeah. Making what you got for us, man.
I would go Groover. If you're asking who the MVP is, I think his offense has been really clutch a lot of times, and he's not bad on defense. So I personally think if you have him, where are you even offensively? I mean, you can talk about Fritton on defense, but you're not scoring as many points without Groover either. So I don't know. I'm going with Groover. I mean, I think he's the heart and soul of that team right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Michael, who you got, or what are your thoughts on this past 7 days?
Can I ask this question real quick before you go to Michael? Who would be a bigger loss to this team? Would it be Groover or Fritton?
Well, overall, overall,
Groover.
I would say Groover, but though I would say you could make up for his loss easier with the offense.
Well, because he's making more impact on offense, right? I mean, I get that. It's just I don't know. I feel like we can make the argument because Fritton could help you with defense, and he's stepping up in that regard.
Well,
but the
one thing I would say,
go ahead.
Yeah, no, I would just say, the counter would be you have a lot of guys that aren't getting playing time offensively that can put up some great numbers. And then they've shown throughout the season that they can. It's just the consistency that Gino has had all year is just second to none. But conversely, the consistency from Dom Fritton is not only did he do his thing starting, now he's doing very well minus the 1 outing on Thursday in the bullpen.
Now, and another thing too, which I want to point out is that Pittsburgh, we faced Pittsburgh in the last series. Right now, they're 9-13. The ACC, we're 10-13. And also two UNC is 11-11. We're 10-13. So they're only one game,
Still winnable.
1.5 games ahead of us. So these, again, just to go to prove it, these last two series are ginormous. So Michael, go ahead.
Yeah. After that Thursday night game, I was really worried about this weekend because that was a game again that we could have won pretty easily. And there was just a lot of mental errors in that one. And I don't know, something flipped on Friday. I mean, to win 2 games back to back, holding the opposing team to just 2 runs in both of them. I mean, it was really impressive. It felt like they knew the season was on the line at that point after losing that first game. And they did what they had to do. So yeah, I mean, still lots to play for. I think both series are easily winnable. It'd be great to get a sweep out of one of them. I think that would really help with our seeding, but we'll see.
Yeah.
The one thing that I thought was weird about Notre Dame, that's really the first time I ever watched games at their ballpark. It's a massive ballpark. Like the ball jumps, and those power alleys are big. I mean, there was balls that should have been singles that ended up being doubles. And I don't know if that was just the way we were playing or they were playing us, but I thought there was going to be more runs scored in a couple of those games.
Yeah. Ken's, anything to say to wrap it up here?
I mean, I just agree that it's the errors and the inconsistency that I think is holding this team back from being a College World Series team, honestly. Like, we have so much talent, but it seems like there's like every few games that they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to use their talent. So that's what's the most frustrating. But I definitely think after Thursday, the seniors stood up and like talked to the younger guys and were like, look, like, unless we want this to be our last few games, I think they took a step in that, and I think we're going to sweep Carolina. Don't think we'll sweep Pitt.
I would say the opposite, but I'm okay either way.
Yeah. Well, and that was one question, which was and that was one question that was posed that I saw on Twitter was, because there's people that are talking about Avent's job being on the line, and so people are saying, well, if State beats UNC in the series this weekend, well, that's changed a lot of NC State fans' minds. And I would say it depends on if you're looking short term or long term.
Yeah,
because to me, I would still say you got to take everything into perspective. Are we really going to go the Tom O'Brien route where all you need is to beat UNC and get us to a bowl game and then we're happy? Like, is that all? I mean, like, to me, we got to have higher standards for this program at that point. But that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, with Avent, it seems there's a lot more to it than one series in 1 year. Just his whole track record. So it'll be interesting.
It's fans being fans. Look, I mean, this program would have to be like a complete nosedive for anyone to really rush him out of Raleigh. Again, last year was one of those things where you could make the argument that we were a tournament team the year before. We were in the College World Series where
should have won it.
A COVID screw, getting screw job from winning that.
We're right there. The ACC championship 2 years in a row, also.
Yeah, that's just silly talk. Yeah,
I mean,
I get it.
Stands to get fired at some point in the season. Honestly, if you think about it,
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and again, I'm one sitting here saying, and Greg, and I understand what you're saying, but I'm also sitting here saying, are we really going to be okay with not going to 2 NCAA tournaments in a row? Even though, yes, we had a chance we should have probably gotten in last year. At some point, we got to move on from just being happy about making the tournament. At some point, we got to be competing for regional. At some point, we got to win the ACC championship too. It's just a frustration thing. We shouldn't have gotten swept by UNC last year. We shouldn't have gotten swept by Clemson this year. It's like it missed opportunities. So, and can we talk about even a little bit too? Like, what has the coaching staff been doing with Sam Highfield this year? It's been confusing. What are we trying to do here?
Yeah, but we also don't know what his status was coming into the season, right? I mean, everyone assumed that
Sure.
maybe he was fully healthy, maybe he wasn't. Maybe the plan was to ease him back into this. Like we weren't part of the strategery discussions, right? Like
Sure.
so. Now the one thing I will say is Coach Avent didn't make 3 errors on Thursday night. Right.
He doesn't. He's not out there playing and making those bad plays, right?
Right. He's not getting picked off on one play, getting doubled up.
That was stupid. I saw
not,
a lot.
That was so bad.
What was that? What was that?
So I mean, but that's baseball. I get it, and I get it. He's the head coach. The buck stops with him. I understand all that, but there's so many games where we just didn't execute. And it's not always about X's and O's. It's about, look, you putting your players in the best position to win a game, and they just go out and don't make a pitch, or they burn themselves out of an inning. They don't call for a fly ball and it drops in the Bermuda Triangle. Like all that's just baseball. I don't know how the other way. And I'm not being a sympathizer for Avent. I'm just telling facts, and people can draw the conclusions that they want from those.
Well, and to me, and I'm never going to be one to say you should force him out or whatever it is. Like, no, this guy's done so much for his program that, you can't do that. But now, if we don't make it to 2 NCAA tournaments in a row, and even also especially if we miss the ACC tournament, is it a conversation that needs to be had? Sure, it may be a conversation. But at the end of the day, keep in mind too that at the end of the day, it's boo core against call. So but
it also could be something like what they did to Keats, where maybe the coach doesn't need to go. Maybe you need to make an adjustment on your coaching staff. Maybe that's 100%. The first step. Again, like you said, that's Boo's call. That's not any of ours. And, by all accounts, Coach Hart is the coach in waiting. So, are they happy with that direction? I don't know.
Yep. Well, and the other thing, which other interesting stat, which I want to point out to y'all as well, I saw this fifth quarter. Coastal Carolina posted this, saying that right now D1 baseball currently has 7 North Carolina and South Carolina teams hosting regionals: Wake Forest, South Carolina, Coastal Carolina, Duke, Campbell, East Carolina, Clemson. So the other thing, which I'm saying, it kind of like softball, is that the competition is only getting better and better. Like, dude, Campbell, like, oh my God, like, what's going on with Campbell recently? And I mean, Wake Forest being, the first time in program history being the #1 overall team for D1 baseball. It's only Duke. I mean, it's getting tough. So it's like, listen, like we gotta move quickly if we're going to be competitive. Simple as that, in my opinion. But
but I mean, you mentioned a few minutes ago that we shouldn't have lost to Clemson, or that was a bad series loss. But look at them now; they're in the discussion of hosting. Right before they got to us, they started to flip that season around when I think they had Florida State, Pitt, and maybe Boston College or someone. I can't remember who, but all these games we're right in these games. I think maybe we've only really gotten blown out of maybe 1 or 2 games all year.
It's like the 7th inning is where everything goes downhill. Honestly,
it's been the bullpen. I think, but we've started to see like flashes of it now that we're starting to see Sam back in. Now you saw Fritten go back in. Baker has been throwing well.
I think I saw we're in the ACC, we're 10-13 with a +9 run differential. Yeah. So like that doesn't really, the odds of that happening are very, very low. Like with a +9 run differential, you should be at 500 or maybe a game above 500. So it's just, it's tough.
And I bet if you look at the stats, and I don't have all the ACC stats in front of me, I would be willing to bet we're in the bottom third for fielding, and probably up mid to upper in batting average and runs, and probably middle of the pack for pitching. Again, I don't have them in front of me, but if you watch enough of NC State baseball, you can kind of see the trends and analysis of where we've had our struggles this year.
Yeah. So just to kind of wrap up here with a couple of comments here in the comment section. So, so Michelle and Wolfpack Crazy both agreeing that Gino has been the MVP so far this year. Tim also asked a question: what's going on with Parker Nolan? And again, inconsistency.
Well, I just think some of that is just with Noah Souls coming back. And I talked about it earlier. Yeah. Noah Souls is such a great player. And we talked about it. You've had flashes of, Parker Nolan. You've had flashes of Carter Trice before ACC. He's kind of struggled with ACC play. You had I'm just drawing a blank.
I mean,
there's just too many. There's
all
too
over
many.
the board.
There's not enough outfielder
Chase
spots
Nixon.
for
That's what I
yeah,
was
him
trying to
too.
come up.
There's not enough outfielder spots for the amount of talent that we have.
And you have Candelaria, who has come back recently. He was out for a minute, and then you're like, okay, well, what about DH in them? Well, hello, you got Cannon Peebles who's been tearing it up, so like, where do you put him? And so it's like, what, and I think it gets to the point where matchups lefty versus righty, righty lefty, and then whoever's just got the hot hand, he'll ride with them for a couple of games, and if they have a cold streak, then they'll sit and they'll fire somebody else up, and again, run scoring has not been a problem this year. We've scored plenty of runs. It's the pitching and defense that have been our struggles, and mostly the pitching on the back end. The starters are still had a great ERA.
Yeah, agreed. So, and Michael, to your comment about how do you feel about where the Pac Pros went, I would love to see Dunn in Dallas. I mean, definitely, would bless Dunn if he had ended up in Dallas, because that's a firestorm right now. But I would say to go back and check out our last week's live shows. We really kind of went deep dived into every single Pac Pro in their location. So I would say if you missed it last week, go check that out. And we broke it all down there, and let us know your thoughts on it. But the last thing I want to talk about before we jump into some tweets of the week is Caitlin Tuohy. And this is one because
Ridiculous.
I mean, it's an easy tweet of the week, but to me, I'm like, listen,
I feel like somebody needs to put a stat comparison. We should probably do that on our account. Put like a player A has these stats, player B has these stats. Which is the greater of the, or just go ahead and say, here's David Thompson, you consider him, and here's Caitlin Tuohy.
Oh, well, here's
like comparing the two. I mean, they mean different things. I think David Thompson meant more for the university, but what Caitlin is doing is just ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it's a new week, new record.
Exactly.
Yeah, really.
Exactly.
That should be a T-shirt she wears all the time. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and here's one thing which I would say, and again, I'll talk about her most recent record, but I think this says a lot, is that Tim Peeler, who, for those who don't know, is like the ultimate NC State historian. I mean, there's nobody knows NC State history more than him. He even wrote an article saying NC State's most accomplished athlete in 3, 2, 1. And so to me, him saying that Caitlin Tuohy is already the most accomplished athlete in state history.
I don't think it's
and
close.
She still has one more year.
I don't think it's close at this point either. I think she's just going to knock it out of the park next year. It's like unattainable.
She will. Now, I would say right now, the two athletes that, from an accomplishment perspective, are in the ballpark with her are Betty Springs Geiger and Julie Shea Sutton, who are both cross-country athletes in the late 70s, early 80s. Both of so just kind of touch points. So Betty Springs was 2-time NCAA cross-country champion. She's in the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame, ACC 10,000 meter champion, won the first women's championship in NCAA history in 1981. And then Julie Sutton, 7-time track and field cross-country national champion, 3-time 5,000 meter champion, 3,000 meter champion, 10,000 meter champion, 8-time All-American in track and field, 4-time All-American in cross-country. So
I think Caitlin's got the first one. I think Caitlin's got the first one. Like the only thing I don't think that they're missing is the Sports Hall of Fame, which Caitlin Tuohy will be in that.
Yeah.
Right.
What is Caitlin Tuohy up now? 5 national championships?
She's 6-time All-American and 4-time first team All-American. Just in 2 years.
But what about national championships though?
Those
are all national champions, right? So she's won 2 team national championships, 1 or 2 individuals.
Yeah,
2. I think she's at 5 or 6 national championships.
And did we?
And on top of it too. Go ahead.
Did we talk about that on here? Or I may have been another podcast I was listening to, but there's a chance that she may not come back next year because if Summer Olympics are 2024, so if she takes that off to train, this may be her last year.
Yep. And wouldn't blame and wouldn't blame her. I mean, and because especially too, I think it's been made very clear that Caitlin Tui is not interested in the NIL side. So, you know, it really just depends what she wants to do. Like if she feels like she still has more to accomplish here, then I think she sticks around. But if she wants to go and have a potential to compete in the Summer Olympics, then it might be better for her to go ahead and start preparations. But it depends. You know, to me, I'm like, hey, listen, as long as we have her, great. If she decides to leave, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's all you can say. Thank you. So
4 individual and 2 team. Yeah.
So I was basically right. I said 6 in my head. So I was counting the 2 teams, and these are 4 or 5 individuals that she's at. So,
and she'll probably win some more in the next month or so.
Yeah, because I think they have a few more meets, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it was like 1 or 2 more. Yeah.
I think ACC championships are this weekend, and then NCAA would be shortly after that.
Yeah.
Well, and there's been multiple articles who have already tabbed Caitlin Tui as the current generation, like, big name in running, like, period, for Team USA, like for all of USA, like that, like she can be like not on the same level, but like a Usain Bolt, like big name, like that everybody in the United States, everybody in the world will know her for what she does at the Olympics, you know, here in this Olympics and the next Olympics and so on. So
the only thing I would say about that is she does do the long distance, and usually the more popular ones are the sprinters.
Yeah.
But yeah,
True.
I mean, in that, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but if you win enough medals, you'll be remembered.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, and just to kind of recap too, so on Saturday night at the Sound Running on Track Fest, Caitlin Tui clocked in at 15 minutes 3.12 seconds to set an NCAA record for the outdoor 5,000 meters. So that's the most recent record that she broke this past weekend.
So if anyone needs to convert it, that's 5 minutes a mile.
Yeah, it's a 5K,
give or take.
Yeah, no, it's 5. It's 3 5Ks, right? No, wait, my math.
No, 5,000 meters. That's just
it's a 3K.
It's a 5K.
Yeah, so it's 5 minutes a minute.
Do you know what does K
Well,
stand for,
5K.
Greg?
1,000.
5,000 meters.
5,000. So
Yeah.
5,000
it's 3.1. It's basically 3.1 miles is what it is.
Miles. Correct.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And
But
she
you were
ran
saying
a
a 3K.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say she ran a 3-minute mile, a 5-minute mile 3 times, which is 3.
yes, yeah.
Yes.
That's
That's insane.
Either way, it's great.
Sprinting. She's literally sprinting. And honestly, I mean, she's not even slowing down. I'm trying to think how fast that is. I mean, you are
so
moving.
fast.
You are moving.
I mean, it's got to be 10 plus miles an hour.
Well, think of it this way.
What was her time? What was her time? What was her time again?
Yeah,
15 minutes 3 seconds,
3 seconds.
basically.
And 5 miles?
No, 3 miles.
3.14 whatever miles.
Yeah.
So 15 minutes and 3 seconds or 3.1 miles.
It was basically 5 minutes and 1 second per mile.
Let's put it this way. So literally, if you took the last, if you took the last 50 yards of her 5K, she would be able to beat most people who were literally just standing there 50 yards from the finish line running full sprints. I mean, like at least me, I'll speak for myself.
Crazy.
She would be able to beat me. Let's put it that way. So
Yeah.
I mean,
which is
she
crazy.
runs faster than I do in traffic on 95 every morning to my way to work.
So this says
Like,
here.
she
So
can pass
okay.
me.
So 3.1 miles. So 5-minute mile is approximately 12 miles per hour.
Crushed it.
The average.
Oh, look,
The
here you go.
average. I looked through the average sprinting speed for a female.
There you go.
Is 17.1 miles per hour. So she's just under sprinting, basically. There you go.
But for 15 minutes straight. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Right, not 100 meters, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
literally running as fast as she can. She's just under that
12 miles an
Yeah.
hour
for
15.
15 minutes.
Good
So
Lord.
again, just to wrap it up. I mean, listen, if she
She's a
does
bee.
leave, thank
This
you.
is our math
Appreciate all you've
segment
done.
on Tuffy
Yeah.
Talk.
They'll be throwing
Yeah,
out the
no
old
kidding.
cans at the Olympics. So I mean, it'll be
Exactly.
fine. Like,
No,
That'll be cool.
I- absolutely. Like, hey, if she does come back, then. But I'm saying right now, she definitely has a case right now for being the most accomplished athlete. And I would again say, if Tim Peeler's saying it,
Yeah.
that's pretty much a big case within itself right
Yeah.
there. So
yeah.
because
I
Tim
mean, the
Peeler
only
will tell
reason-
you straight.
Yeah, the only reason she probably comes back is for something that she hasn't accomplished, right? But which I don't even know what that would be at this point.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like she's got everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, all right, y'all. So let's go on ahead and get on over to some Tuffy's tweets of the week. Here we go. All right. So first of all, here, got to give a shout out here to NC State women's tennis, who advanced to the Sweet 16 after beating South Carolina State number 25 Kansas. And I would say this once again, that I mean, I think NC State women's tennis is going for a national championship. I think that is the bar. I think that should be the bar. The number one team in the country is UNC, who they just beat at the ACC tournament. So I mean, if you're NC State, you're saying, I feel pretty good about I could beat anybody, you know, and,
I mean,
even as the 3 seed, number 4 team in the country, which I think is funny how they're the 3 seed, but the number 4 team in the country. But, you know, so go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. I mean, 4-0 wins over both South Carolina State and Kansas. I mean, that's just complete domination. So, absolutely, Final Four national championship is definitely on the table.
100%. So the biggest thing I would say is this weekend, I think we host the Sweet 16 matchup. So make sure Wolfpack Nation, Auburn. Yep. Thank you.
Hey,
that makes
go do a repeat. Go do a repeat. Go win that title again, man. And doubles back to back.
Oh yeah. Well, now we need to go for team national title.
Yeah. And
I know, but I'm saying, but like even then, like just at the very, how cool it'd be. I'm just thinking a smaller version. If you could win the team thing, go win the whole thing. I mean, right? So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, and especially with, again, I mean, this team is highlighted now, in my opinion, by Diana Schneider, who once again, per ITA tennis, is ranked as one of the, I think it was number 85 best women's tennis players in the world, college, professional, you name it. So literally the number 85 best women's tennis player in the world. And she's playing right now at NC State. And her and Alana Smith have been killing it. I see them as definitely a favorite to win the doubles national title once again and get that once again for us. So, and Infinite Hate says it right here, saying this women's tennis team is low-key one of the greatest in NC State history. Yeah, no doubt about it. That's easily in the conversation. And I think that, you know, like we made it to the Final Four in 2021. If they can make it to the finals, if they win the national title, there's no doubt about it. Just you know, close the book. It's over. Yeah, they're the greatest in state history, no doubt about it. So, and the sky's the limit with this program, men's and women's, y'all. So make sure to go and support them for sure. And let's get this thing done. But Greg, making Michael, Ken's, anything else before we wrap this one up?
Just keep on.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And
Bring
just
home that
saying,
trophy.
with the men, did I think they lost their first round match against Oklahoma. So.
Yeah, they did.
Yep. Yep. Tough loss for sure. You know, NC State was ranked number 25. It's a matchup that State should have won, but at the end of the day, there was so much that was accomplished this year. They were consistently in top 25 the whole season. They won at UNC, which, you know, over the last 10, 15 years has been very, very tough to do for State. So, you know, it's like, you know, listen, everything about this program is going in the right direction. And I would say, too, that the better that women's tennis does, I think the more it's going to help men's tennis even, too. Just, I mean, it's like, you know, you smell blood in the water. It's like, you know, something's going on there. I need to go check them out. So,
well,
it's going to continue to breed success, right? I mean,
it does feel like the men are like where the women were just a couple of years ago. I mean, a couple of years ago, I think 2019, 2020, the women were a top 25 team, but not making much noise in the tournament. And it seems like that's where the men are. So hopefully they keep up that same momentum.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, Oklahoma was like number 30 in the country, so it was like a little upset, but not too much of an upset. But obviously a match that State probably should have won, at least on paper.
Now, very interesting question right here. If the women's tennis team were to make the final of the tournament this year, would that be the first final made in a team sport in the NCAA tournament in any sport for State since 1983?
No, I don't think so. I think women's basketball made it in the like a KL
Final
team.
Four, but the national championship.
Oh,
game
national. Oh, I thought it was national.
It's a national championship game.
The final of the tournament.
You want to consider cheerleading? I mean, you can call it cheerleading, right? Is that a team?
Well, it's not necessarily a tournament.
It's not a
Yeah,
tournament.
Okay.
Team sport. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be.
Yep.
That was my thought too. But then I thought Greg was about
So
to.
cheerleading is.
No, I
Or
misread
are you
it.
saying that the women's tennis would be the first since '83?
Yeah, and Infinite Hate's
Yeah.
right, 1999. I misread the initial. I thought it was just talking Final Four in general. So that was my mistake.
Yeah. So Infinite Hate, you're right.
'cause
But
the women's tennis team made the Final Four last year, right? Didn't they?
Yes.
correct. But they didn't
Yeah.
make
They didn't
the
make
finals.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Correct. So, all right, y'all. So, with that being said, the next one, got to give a huge shout out to Wolfpack Nation. Like, I'm telling y'all right now that, for once again, it's not even a shocker now that once again, season tickets have officially been sold out. Tuffy's Terrace mini
Yes,
packs and single games
fans.
tickets are the only thing still available, but season tickets are officially sold out.
And Notre Dame
And-
is completely sold out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No shocker there whatsoever.
Yeah, they
but-
had a part of the mini pack, but they're gone now as well. That was one of the mini pack options. Was Notre Dame?
Yep. So the one thing which I do want to say, and I want to get y'all's opinions on here, and then I need to pass it off because I need to go get my computer charger, which I completely forgot to put in because my computer's about to die. But to me, it just is. I know I seem to bring up during every single live stream, but it to me this is just another feather in the cap. Like, we're not even shocked anymore that we sell out season tickets. Like, it's like, okay, cool. Like, that's business as usual for us. We're selling out season tickets. Like, the hype around the program from NC State is unreal. I mean, again, we've heard it from Brent Broussard with the Wolfpack Club being like, the amount of attention that football is getting from donors and NC State fans in general is, competing against, the Phillip Rivers years. Not saying that we're at that level that we're going to be top 10 or whatever, but like, it's just like the excitement is amazing. It's awesome. Like, no matter what you do, the fact that the excitement is where it is right now, I think is everything that you want. That everything that any college program wants in their football program is excitement from the fans.
Definitely.
Because if there's excitement, that means there's success. That means there's something to look forward to. And if there's something to look forward to, then there's money involved. There's a great environment. Like, everything else comes with it. And that's just my 2 cents on it. But whoever wants to jump in, feel free. But yeah, just wanted to kind of get that started right there.
I don't want to go too far off on a tangent, but I've been reading they're like college football previews starting to come out. And I've read a couple, and it's been that, about us saying it could be a rebuilding year for NC State. I understand that, but do you guys feel like that? I don't feel like it's a rebuilding.
Let me speak to this
year.
real quick. So my brother Amos texted me the other day, and he said Vegas has an opening betting line
Yeah, that
for
too.
us to have a win total of 6.5 wins.
I would
Right.
pound that over.
Yeah, I would
that's-
too.
100%.
And so I thought that was low. I would have thought 7.5 is where you started off with.
Yeah.
The 6.5 is saying you're not even going to a bowl game, or you might go to a bowl.
No,
game,
you'll
I
go.
guess.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah, you're
just
one
get
game.
into a bowl game.
Honestly, at this point, you would be in a bowl game because the way bowls are set up. But it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
So, again, we don't want to go too far down this, but I think it's
Yeah.
worth exploring. I think you get one against VMI, right? I think you get one against UConn.
in
I think
UNC.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, that's fair. And I think
I'm
you get one
kidding.
against Marshall.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah. So I think you get those 3 wins, right? So then now you only need 3.5. Like,
Let's look at UNC schedule real quick. Because I want to troll them.
Yeah.
Real quick.
I want to troll them.
real quick, while
I
you're
don't know.
looking at
I
it,
mean,
real quick, I just want to make a comment about the sold out thing. I get what you're saying, Leighton. I don't want to take anything away from Coach Dorn or the program, but I will say no matter how good or bad NC State football is, Wolfpack Nation shows out. So I don't think
Definitely.
it's so much of an indictment on the program as the loyal fan base, how much NC State or people from North Carolina love football.
We have the best fans in the country.
Yeah.
And I stand on that statement.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to take away from anything. I mean, it does take everybody to buy tickets and so on and so forth. But I think if this team was coming off of a 5-6 loss season, I still think
We'd
you sell
still
out
sell
this
out.
year. Yeah. So
yeah.
So
And the only thing which I would say to that though too is that not to necessarily bring up old old bad exes. But last year with men's basketball, it took the Keats and the program to show that there was something to be excited about for state fans to fully buy in. Now I know that there will still be a support, but I think it goes to the fact that Doran has proven that he will give you something to be excited about this season. But I hear what you're saying. No,
I'll counter one more time.
I'll
counter one more time. You only get 6 to 7 opportunities a year to do it, and you throw in the tailgating aspect on top of that, right? Because football games, it's much more than going to the game. It's an event, whereas basketball literally is just going to a sporting game.
Yeah,
that's fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, but so again, I want to make that perfectly clear as well. That
it's still awesome.
Not taking away whatsoever from Wolfpack Nation, 100%.
Yeah.
So
Leighton made that clear because he was about to get attacked on Twitter.
No, well, again, I mean, I would say, listen, it just goes back to that. Unfortunately, Doran is always, going to be, a bad
big part of his heart.
A big thing.
He's got a target.
Sure. Hey, I have a lot of blood, sweat, and tears put into that program, y'all. Like I'm telling y'all. So anyway,
I get it.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead, Macon. Talk about what we got. Is UNC going to cash over 8.5? Macon.
I'm pounding under on that.
Let's go real quick. Just give me an L or a W, okay?
All right. For who?
I'm going to run through UNC's schedule because I just think this is going to be fun. They do not have an easy schedule.
No. In fact, Mac Brown even cried about it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so they're at 8.5 right now. That's your betting line. Okay, so keep that in mind for everybody. We're going to start off South Carolina and Charlotte.
Loss.
Yeah, loss.
L.
So Spencer Rattler, Layton's not going to pick Carolina and all that. So L. Appalachian State. You and
L.
No,
no way.
I think
so. 0-12.
I think 0-12.
Is that Chapel Hill this time, right?
App State is so good. Are y'all tripping? Y'all are crazy.
Gordon Gentry.
Gordon
Gentry's transferred there.
Honestly, here's my thing. I just don't know how.
After the loss
Carolina's
last year, App State is going to be coming in ready to play. They're going to win.
Hey, Jacorius Conley, one of their best defensive players, just transferred out too. So
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
and they lost Josh Downs. So
yeah, he's on offense. But yeah, so we're going to say let's just say for sake of argument, let's just say W. Let's say W. Okay, Minnesota at home.
That could be tricky. It's a big
Minnesota's one of those weird
teams. More physical kind of team. I think Minnesota's going to out physical them. But I don't know. My thing is, what does Minnesota got, or any of these teams? What do they got on defense? Because I think you lost Downs, so their leading receiver is going to be Bryson Nesbitt, maybe.
Well,
see, to me, honestly, this year for UNC kind of gives me 2021 UNC vibes, where it's like, well, they have Sam Howell, so they're going to be amazing because they have Sam Howell. I think that's kind of this year's. Well, they have Drake May.
Is as good as that offense was, and their defense certainly won't be.
Okay,
I don't know.
Are we going to say L? Are we going to say L? Are we going to say
L?
I'm saying L.
Okay, so that's 1 and 2. All right, Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh.
L.
That's their first ACC matchup on a Saturday. Yep.
Let me see. They're going to give him Pittsburgh
in my
6.5.
opinion, I'm giving one of those two. In my opinion, I'm giving one of those two generously.
Okay, well then, so you're saying, Layton, it's 2 and 2.
I think 2 and 2 is very
0-4.
That's fair. Yeah, no, we want 104, but I think 2 and 2 for this team.
Who is their starting quarterback this year? Do we know?
Pitt?
Yeah,
Jurkovic. He transferred from BC.
Yeah, Jurkovic. Yeah. If he's anything like he was before he got hurt.
Yeah. Well, his OC is at Pitt. When Jurkovic had his best year at BC, his OC is now.
So he's pulling
Jurkovic
to Pittsburgh is Brandon Armstrong and NC State.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Okay. Syracuse at home.
They'll win.
They win that game. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going 2 and 3 at that point. Okay. Then you've got Miami at home.
L.
I would agree. 2 and 4.
But again, I never know what Miami's going to do. They get hyped up every dang year, just like Carolina, and they fall flat on their face.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
But I think Miami's
going to win.
Yeah, I think Miami's going to win.
Okay, UVA at home.
That's a win.
I think they beat UVA. So now I'm at 3 and 4 right now. Okay, Georgia Tech in Atlanta. That's a win. It's a 4 and 4, so they're probably back at 500. Campbell, 5 and 4.
Yep.
Duke,
Loss.
At home.
5 and
It's
5.
at home though, so
I think they'll lose.
I think if Duke would have won last year, I would say UNC, but I think there's a little bit of revenge.
But
factor
Duke is
there.
supposed to take a
But
step
that's
up
the
this
same
year.
way. If you're looking at it like that, that's App State too.
yeah, give me Duke. I
Sure.
want Duke to win this game. I think Duke wins this game.
And
But
y'all
I think that
y'all
I
said
think
win
Duke-
like that for App.
But again,
I need
it's
you
But I
Agree
want to
anyway.
put this into perspective. We've already said they're 5 and 4 coming out of the Campbell game.
Or
And
even
the
6 and
best
3
they can do at that
conservatively.
point is win the next 3 games, and that would be 8 and 4.
Finish
So they're not 8
They're
and a
not
half.
beating us. So
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, so you think of Duke, right? Okay. Clemson at Clemson.
Nope.
L.
Big fat loss.
Okay. And then State on the road. They're playing
Big
State at,
L.
home, at the end of the season. Now injuries happen and all that. I say L. So what did I put them?
Again, it's
6 and 7 or 6 and 6,
6 and
5 and
6.
7?
Mhm.
Maybe we're just being State fans, but I just don't.
A little bit.
Okay, I see obvious losses to me against
Clemson.
Clemson. I think they lose against Pittsburgh. I think they lose against State. I think they lose against Percy. I think they lose against Miami, and I want to say they lose.
They lose to South Carolina. They lose to South Carolina.
Mhm.
I mean, they just have
Again,
They have too hard of a schedule for their to win till.
I don't see how they get over 8.5 wins.
Because they're quarterback.
again,
That's what
let's just talk
everybody-
about the let's talk about the let's just highlight these significant huge hurdles they have to get over. South Carolina, Miami, Pitt, Minnesota, State, Clemson. They have to win 3 of those
Yeah.
in
have a
order
chance.
to get to at least a 9-3 mark.
So
And they
which
can't slip
3 are
up
they
anywhere else
winning? I
either.
mean, it's not. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
I
Not
don't know.
Clemson.
I don't know.
South
So,
Carolina's
yeah.
gonna be tough because this is a big year for South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Year 3,
Can we-
right,
yeah.
for Beamer?
Hey, so can we come in? I'm curious too. So one thing that interests me is Duke. Is Duke too low there?
I think all of these teams are low, minus Louisville. I think Louisville is
Louisville
really
too
high.
high?
I think
Yeah,
Louisville's
Louisville's
too high.
Too high.
I don't know.
Well,
Duke had
Is
if you
Florida
look at
State
Duke's
too high?
schedule-
Is Florida State? I don't know if Florida State's too high. I think it might be
Florida
a
State
smidge
is
too
like
high.
the darling. Like they're going to be a top 5 preseason team.
Yeah,
But-
I think
But
that's
I'm not
fine.
asking
say
that.
there's-
I said what they're gonna do at the end of the season. Let's go.
No,
I
get
say
it.
there's a lot of shots in the dark. There's Florida State. There's a lot of hope that Mike Norvell is as good of a coach as they think he is. But
Mhm.
Okay,
maybe
let's
he's
go.
not.
Let's go Florida State real quick. Okay, just because. Okay, 10 wins. That's a 10-2 season. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you tell me where are they? Okay,
Well, again,
so
technically you
LSU.
need
L-
11
they're
wins.
gonna beat LSU. I think they will beat
They beat them
LSU.
last year.
Better.
They beat them last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they beat LSU. Southern Miss
Yes.
Yes.
Win.
Boston College win.
Yes.
Clemson at Clemson.
Nope.
Ooh,
That's
gonna
gonna
be
be.
I
a
don't
big
know.
game.
that's gonna be
I-
a fun game, man.
Yes,
That's gonna be.
I
a fun
know,
game.
Here's
know.
but we all
I
know
don't
the
know.
Clemson situation. It's all about Cade. Is he the real deal?
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm
If
saying. There's a
Yeah.
lot of shots in the dark on this list. There's a
Mhm.
lot of shots
I
in the
think
dark.
I'll
in
tell you
my
right now. I
opinion.
think Jordan Travis is going to be an NFL quarterback. He is good.
He's so good.
But
It's really good.
let's just say L for the sake of conversation. Okay, Virginia Tech win at home. It's a Florida State
Yeah,
at
versus
home.
Virginia Tech at home win. Syracuse at home win.
Yeah.
Duke at home. That game is sneaky
Yeah.
to me, but I'm going to say
That
Florida
game
State
at
wins that
home.
game.
Well,
Yeah.
what games after that?
Florida State on the road at Wake Forest.
I think that's
One of those will
See,
be
that-
a
that-
L.
That's an
Wake
interesting
Forest-
2-game
Yep.
stretch right there.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
Wake
one of
Forest is
those
going to be an
will be
interesting team this year without Sam Hartman. Like, what are they going to do at quarterback?
Yeah. But
on the road at Pitt.
No.
I
I mean,
have
yes.
no
it's a
idea.
tough one.
I think they win that game. I think that's a big win for them.
Here's the one thing I'll say about Pitt. No one shows up for Pitt games, just like Miami. So it will like the
Yeah.
crowd will not be a problem there.
I know we're going through all
Sure.
the other teams, but like it's for the sake of this tweet. So Florida State versus Miami at home. Florida State gets Miami at home. I think it's a win.
That's a fun one.
Florida State wins.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
North Alabama, that's a win. And then they play
Yeah.
Florida on the road.
They'll
Yeah.
lose that game.
No, Florida.
But again,
I don't know. They
again,
got Anthony
Florida's
Richardson's
rebuilding.
on. Yeah, I think Florida
Florida's
State wins that
rebuilding.
game.
Yes,
So-
I do too.
Well,
Who were the two losses?
again,
You said Clemson and
because thing about
Yeah,
what
Duke.
I want to make sure everybody understands too is that in order to win this bet, they have to go 11-1. Like if they
Yeah,
get
for Florida
10,
State.
if they get 10-2,
And
then you draw the bet.
And then we're
So,
saying they lose to Clemson and one of, you said, the Duke
Probably
or Wake
Miami
Forest
or
matchup.
Miami or Florida. Probably.
They,
I
they
think
lose,
they-
they lose
Miami-
both games. Yeah.
They could lose to Miami.
Well, now you have
Again.
to go through ours.
Oh, ours.
well, yeah.
We have plenty of
Hold on.
time to do that in the summer.
We're gonna do a whole episode.
Let me go through one more team because I think it's really interesting here. And
Go for it.
I honestly
You gonna
kind of
do
want
Louisville?
I kind of want to revisit this.
Yeah.
Would you rather do Duke or would you rather do Louisville?
I'd rather do Duke because Louisville,
Yeah.
it's
They're,
who knows right now.
they're in-state school. I really want to go back to this tweet some point. Can we do that? That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
You gotta remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Duke,
I mean,
I
this
do
will be
not.
all of
Duke
July
has got
now,
a
so-
tough schedule too, kind of. So Duke, is this season opener against Clemson.
Yeah.
Oof, lost.
At home or at
L.
Clemson?
I don't
Does it matter?
Doesn't really
In
matter.
Durham.
Still no.
Okay, L.
Yeah, still no.
Lafayette, they'll win that game. Northwestern,
Yeah, they'll beat.
I say
Yeah,
they beat Northwestern.
Northwestern's bad.
UConn
When?
I don't
Maybe
know.
not.
at UConn.
Oh, that's
not
interesting.
gonna be
UConn's
easy.
got us and them at home this year.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so there's them. Okay, so we're gonna say win. Okay, so that's 3-1.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, Sam
L.
Hartman.
Lost.
Yeah.
Lost.
L. Okay, State. I say State beats them this year.
It's in Durham, right?
It is
Yeah.
in Durham. I mean,
Yep.
it's in Durham. It's in Durham.
That's gonna be a
So,
fun game. I'm looking forward to that
So-
one.
Yeah.
So I know we call Keenan Raleigh West or Carter Finley West. What do we call? Is it Carter Finley East for?
What?
Northwest?
The
And what
outhouse.
was big game boomer said that Keenan Stadium is Doran's playground. I think
Playground.
was
So what do you call
No, I
it?
think it's
Doran's
vacation home.
Doran,
Yeah.
or vacation
Oh,
home.
vacation
So
home.
Doran's
Yeah.
playroom.
what it was.
So Duke. So okay, they got to play State. So we're gonna say they're losing to Clemson, Notre Dame, and State. Okay.
Hold on, real quick. Infinite Hate. This is actually from DraftKings, not from Phil Steele himself. He just released the tweet.
Correct.
Okay. So, okay, man, this stretch is tough for them. Whew, they got to play after State. They got to go on the road and play Florida State.
That's
L.
L. Then they got to go on the road and play at Louisville. Now that one,
That's a tough one.
but they have just played Notre Dame, NC State, and Florida State, and then they got to go on the road and win at Louisville. They're going to be hammered.
Yeah, they're gonna be beat down.
Mhm.
And then they got to go back to home. And I mean, they got to play Wake Forest at that point. And I mean, that's not going to be a cakewalk. So,
No.
Yeah, maybe 6.5 is.
and then they've got UNC at Chapel Hill.
Maybe they don't win 7.
Yeah, I think they're a little high. I don't know. Maybe unless this quarterback is the real deal. Virginia at Charlottesville. I think they beat Virginia, and they have to beat that. They have to win that game. And then
But-
Pittsburgh and Durham.
Yeah, but we said that about them last year. What did they end up winning? Like 9 games?
Yeah.
No.
But the
again,
divisions were
What was
gone
their schedule
now.
last year? What was their schedule last
Yeah, I
year?
was about to say Coastal,
So-
that's gone now. So now they're with the big boys just like everyone else is.
I don't know.
For me-
I put them at 6 wins, if that. I'm like 5.
I might look. I don't gamble, but I might have to take a couple on these things.
Well, and again, to me,
the
Mike
lowest?
Norvell
Virginia.
and Mike
East.
of Florida State and Mike Elko of Duke, in my opinion, this is the season where it's going to be a huge statement for them one way or the other.
Oh yeah.
If Mike Norvell and Florida State don't achieve close to the expectations they have on them, that's going to be tough sledding for if you're.
I'm
a
gonna
Florida
tell you
State
another
fan.
one. I'm gonna tell you another one that's kind of like, whew, they're low, and they probably honestly are right. Virginia Tech at 5.
You think that's too high?
No, I'm thinking that coach is going to be in trouble. Brent Pry. I mean,
Yeah,
if
but it's
you
only his second
really,
year.
I don't care, man. They love their football. Like if you're
They
only
do.
getting 5 wins
Yeah.
and they don't have any sign of improvement, I mean, does 5 wins make you feel good? I don't.
Agreed.
I guess it depends on who
Yeah.
you beat in those 5 games, right? Like, are you beating the
We're over-
cupcakes? Are you getting a couple ACC wins in there? Like that, who you beat matters.
Yeah.
100%.
But then again, who you lose to matters too. So
exactly.
know.
I don't know.
Well,
I think to wrap it up a little bit real quick. Sorry, Leighton. to Mackenzie's
Go for
point, NC State schedule, we'll break that down later. I think my early thinking is like an 8-win season, to be honest with you. That's what I think, but I want to look at my schedule. But that is but I think the biggest the headline for me is I think the weakest link, in my opinion, are going to be our receivers.
Yep. Agreed.
Definitely.
And so if they can step up, they can, do the same thing.
Yeah, and for me, the second unit to be concerned about would be the offensive line.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But
Who's
it's a lot of faith in 2J, I would say. A lot of hope and faith in 2J.
Yeah,
Mhm.
1,000%. I'm not
So-
saying they're going to be the worst. That's where my concern is, because all the other position groups are proven.
I really want to break down that tweet again, because that is a really like that. All those betting,
That's a fun one.
There's so much there. I don't know.
But again, it really comes down to how really good is Mike Elko? How really good is Mike Norvell? Like, I don't know. It's what's going on with Louisville? They have a lot of great transfers, but how good is your new coach? Like, it's there's shots. There's so many shots in the dark. It's crazy. So
yeah.
And
So I'm looking real quick. Go ahead.
If you really look at last year, I know they went, I think 9-4 with the bowl win. I mean, their schedule was pretty easy.
Duke.
Like they had Northwestern and Kansas, who are two of the worst Power 5 teams.
Yep. Kansas was a little better last year, though, but your
Kansas
point's still
was.
taken.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah.
But
I think
let's be
Northwestern
real.
was the worst team last year in all of college football.
Who?
But let's be
Power
real
5.
though too. Like, was last year's Duke team, just from an eye perspective, one of the best Duke teams that Duke has had in 10 years? You can make a case for it. I mean, from an eye
not a
case,
very high bar, though.
Yeah, I've got to say that's
No,
not
but I'm saying
much.
in his first year, it's like, wow, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, hey, a big jump very quickly. So
How good were those Daniel Jones? I don't really follow Duke, so I wouldn't know. But like, was Daniel Jones's teams any
I don't
good?
even remember.
He was like
hearing about
mediocre.
Daniel Jones. No, yeah.
I remember hearing a little bit, but it wasn't like.
Yeah.
Dang,
Wasn't like Drake May
I
or
looked-
Sam Howell.
Yeah, I looked real quick. Virginia Tech. I see wins against Old Dominion, Rutgers, Marshall.
Don't sleep on Old Dominion. They lost Old Dominion last year.
I know Boston College and Virginia, because they've got
they better be
maybe Louisville, but they've got State, Louisville, maybe Syracuse. I don't know. I could see Blacksburg. I could see Virginia Tech getting to 6 wins. I just feel like five feels low for Virginia Tech to me. I don't know. But
we'll talk about this later. But the one thing I'm most excited about for NC State fans this year is the ability to go to almost every game.
Yeah. Oh, I'm already planning to be at the UVA game.
I'll be there,
and I really want to plan to be at the Duke game. And
they thought about Greg when they planned our.
This thing plays out perfully. Like I've already got. I literally have all my hotels booked for the season.
This is a chip shot for Greg. He's like,
really? Like, give me. Well, this one I got the first game of the season.
You get to tell me I just get to go back down to North Carolina. This sounds good to me.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll definitely be breaking all this down, and we'll probably have some fun guests over the summer to help us break it down too. So.
Agreed. Now to finish up, we can't, finish it up without talking about the breaking news today, which is Utah transfer Lizzie Williamson committing to NC State
Southern
women's
Utah.
basketball. Southern Utah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Well, because she said, the same red, still red, different thread. So I was thinking Utah because they're also black and red. So
they're red too. Yep.
Yeah, interesting. So just to kind of recap about her. So she was the WAC, which I guess that also should have been the other sign right there. Defensive Player of the Year. She's 6'5", averaged 9.6 points, 10 rebounds, 1.6 a game, and also totaling 77 blocks on the season as well.
Let's go.
So to me,
6'5", that's basically 7 foot in women's.
Is that the conversion rate?
Yeah.
Approximately.
I mean, let's put it this way: for Westmore, who definitely prides on his defense for sure, it's great to bring in a big who has the repertoire of being a great defensive player for sure. So, but to me, I'm still sitting here saying I still want to see that dominant offensive player because I still think about Kitley. If I'm thinking about women's basketball, I'm thinking, man, if we're going to win AC, you got to go through Kitley. And
this is the answer defensively.
I was going to say defensively.
This answer on defensive side. So that's what I'm saying. We just need help on the offensive side, but we'll see. Again, hey, huge get. Very, very excited for sure.
Not a huge get. Tall get.
I was looking. So shut up. So So like she had, if you put it in perspective, the highest number. You said 77 blocks, right?
Right.
Okay. So the highest person, the highest number of blocks on our team was Sanaya Rivers at 31, and she's a guard.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's something
bad.
That's good.
She
That's
had
good. That's a good
over-
breakdown.
she had a good over double. She might have 2.5 times the amount of blocks of any single player on our team. And then we had 140 blocks last season total as a team. She's
She would have
over
half.
double. She would have had over half of that if that were
Yeah.
translated the same. I mean, different conference, but
Yeah.
You can't teach size though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. You either got it or you don't.
and you said she had
Exactly right.
she had 9 points a game, 10 rebounds a game.
9.6. Yeah, 9.6 points.
9.6
So I'm trying to look
points
where
a game, 10
that falls.
Middle of the pack.
PPG, where's it at?
Probably she probably puts her 4th or 5th on the team.
Yeah.
I can't find that stat right
But
this second.
averaged over 10 rebounds, right? So I mean,
That would probably be first.
machine.
That would be first.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's on point
All
4
right.
points away from being a double. So
Yeah.
Take that.
Which is awesome. Love that. All right, y'all. So with that being said, thank you all so much again for joining us. Hopefully you all enjoyed this show. If you did, do us a big favor, hit that like button, and would really appreciate that. And then if you disliked it, just to show how much you disliked it, double click that dislike button. So hit it twice, and that'll really send us a message. And for those who don't know, if you double click it, then it unclicks it. Yeah, you got it. Cool. So anyway, appreciate y'all tuning in with us, and make sure again to give us a follow, Tuffy Talk now on Twitter, Instagram, and we'll see you all soon. And thank you all so much for your support. And as always, go Pack, y'all.